Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Mobility and Climate Tech Meetup. My name is Edie Lush. I'm delighted to be here with you today. This is a very casual session. You're all very welcome. Come on in. We don't have coffee, but we have very warm hearts. We're here to meet each other, to explore a few ideas around the transition. And the idea is that you'll meet each other, maybe meet a new valuable business partner, or learn something. We've got a couple of hosts here. I'll introduce them in a moment, and a few companies that are going to tell us about some of their transformative ideas. Let me introduce Adam Grosser to you. How are you, Adam?
I'm great, Edie.
Good.
Good morning.
Good morning. Prominent venture capitalist focused on transformative mobility and technology. He has a very storied history, including being one of the first 100 people to be employed at Apple. We're not going to hear about that today, but he is also the chairman and managing partner at UP.Partners. He has guided numerous companies through early stages and is a specialist in cutting-edge technologies with real-world applications. Adam, good morning.
Hello, and thanks for the intrepid few who stayed for day 3. We know it's a challenge, and we really appreciate you being here. This is such a wonderful embodiment of the spirit of what we're trying to do at UP, and so grateful for the other participants in the room. At UP, we have a very simple mantra that we call transform the moving world. And what we mean by that is to move people and goods cleaner, faster, safer, with lower impact to the planet on land, sea, air, and space. And we have built a series of funds, a series of companies, and a series of events that capture that ethos. And it's really a first principles approach driven by physics. And our vision really comes down to the observation that transportation is the largest contributor to greenhouse gas on every inhabited continent. And it's the hardest to abate by far. It's way easier to decarbonize, for example, agriculture or the built environment. But, for example, substituting for jet fuel is a very, very challenging problem. So we think about this from almost a primitives idea, in the sense that we've identified 7 subject areas, including robotics and sensing and perception and supply chain automation and design and manufacturing. One of the things that we really are passionate about is this idea that if you want the outputs to be different, the inputs have to be different. And so we've built a portfolio of 30 plus investments. We're also building 10 companies a year in conjunction with the largest corporations on the planet in our space. So I can't share all of them, but for example, we're working with Porsche. We just announced J.B. Hunt, which is the largest logistics company in the US, Alaska Airlines, and many more. So we do have a partnership in aerospace, in maritime, in automotive, supply chain logistics, and energy. And we're jointly creating new tech companies that benefit these large corporations. And then the last piece of what we do is we've created this amazing event that the press has dubbed Davos meets Burning Man, which is this highly curated, very, very kinetic, dynamic event where we bring together people from all over the globe once a year. And it's a really amazing cross-section of leaders from government, from the military, from academia, from entrepreneurship. And get together for 2.5 days of racing cars and flying planes and seeing new things and launching rockets and inspiring youth. One of the things we just did 3 weeks ago was conduct the world's largest classroom in aeronautics for 19,000 children and break the Guinness Book of World Records for model rocket launches. We had those kids build 6,500 model rockets and launch them all in one day. And that was sponsored by one of the largest aerospace companies in the US. So we're trying to teach the world that there's a new way to think about moving, that we have to fix it. We have one of our portfolio friends here today that embodies what we're doing. I think Jet Zero is exactly what the world needs. It is a transformative, groundbreaking, differentiated platform. And we look for a few things when we get engaged with someone. We look for ideas that are durable through time. We look for ideas that are transformative in the sense that they have a fantastic business model. We have a sort of a taxonomy that we think about of great, good, and important. Great companies defined by their financial performance. Good companies are doing amazing things in the world for their customers, their communities, their ecosystems. Important companies are solving problems that are meaningful. We believe we should make meaning first, money will follow. Tom is a fantastic entrepreneur, executive, and embodies all three of great, good, and important.
Okay.
So I will turn it over to our next guest. And Edie, thank you for hosting.
Absolutely.
We're so grateful to be here today.
Great. Thanks. We'll come to Tom in a minute. Petri, Saarinen, thanks for being here. How are you this morning?
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Good. Entrepreneur, startup strategist, extensive experience in digital innovation and venture building as well. He's the founder of Salto Digital, a company that focuses on giving strategic guidance and digital tools for business growth and ecosystem development, and Salto Ventures as well. We're going to hear a little bit about some of what Petri thinks about climate tech, the technologies you're most interested in within the transition to green energy, and also maybe a little about the trading you do in rare earth minerals. Petri, welcome.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, thank you, Adam. So I think I cannot excel on your project. So I would say that I'm a serial entrepreneur by background. I build energy tech companies where we've been building digital service companies in South Africa. So I'm basically a serial entrepreneur within 3 continents. And then currently I'm running Salto Ventures, which is a private office for us. So we're not a stock listed company, so we basically can do anything we want to do. So that's why we have a very diverse portfolio of companies that we support and invest and help within their growth. And obviously kind of the first model for us and the core focus for our company in what is the industry that we work in. And I'm always saying that we're just working in one industry of making money. So we work in a lot of industries.
Making money and doing good.
Yeah, making money and doing good. But again, point is that you cannot do good if you don't first make money. So it's basically what you can do. So we have some companies here. We've invited about 40 companies from Hong Kong, Taiwan, Japan, South Korea, and from the Balkans. Kind of Balkans is, for example, undervalued market. So we invest into companies within these undervalued markets and support the growth of new tech companies in those regions. And then we have a few partners. One of my partners is Creww, which is the biggest innovation agency in Japan. We build an ecosystem of 8,000 plus 8,000 startup companies, and we're industry agnostic in innovation programs. Every time that we build an innovation program, we build a growth phase investment fund, where we also participate as a limited partner. And we do have some specialities within sport industry, which is maybe not part of the mobility and climate. But we work with Real Madrid, we work with Juventus, Sao Paulo FC, and there's also coming maybe some Saudi Arabian football clubs that we're starting to collaborate, to be announced later on.
Okay.
But within the mobility sector, we try to look for novel innovations, for example, inclusive mobility. So we invest in companies that are providing mobility as inclusive service for disabled people. So we want to kind of bring not only the ultra posh sport cars, but we want to help disabled people with electric mobility and so on. One of my companies is energy tech storage company, which is a kinetic flywheel energy system. We can show that. And then within the climate, obviously, climate is number one for us. And basically, I won't go through the
No, let's meet some of the companies that are here
Good,
today. Yeah? Okay, we might come back to you in a moment. So let's come over to Tom O'Leary from Jet Zero. We know that airplane design hasn't changed since the 1930s. You've got a really innovative change to show us. The tube and wing, I love that. You've gotten rid of that. Tell us what you're doing.
So yeah, the blended wing body aircraft is the next level for aircraft. Basic idea, and happy to introduce y'all to it, but just at a super high level, let's start with aerodynamic efficiency, lower fuel burn and emissions by 50%. Mm-hmm. And an interesting thing happened when we deployed engineers to be focused on that problem. They told us, wait a minute, this new shape that delivers this aerodynamic efficiency, it allows us to reevaluate every single thing about the plane and make it better. So imagine if a plane could be more of everything you want and less of everything you don't want. Less
What are the
noise.
things we want?
Well, you want more space, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody wants more space.
Yep.
So space comes at less of a premium when you get out of the tube, right? And our cabin designers came to us and they said, oh my gosh, we've been trapped in a tube our entire careers. This is it. This is what we've been waiting for. This is the moment. Everything that we've done is for this moment where we can transform the passenger experience while lowering the cost, while helping the environment, you know,
And
while
just talk about
alleviating
emissions.
noise.
Talk
Yeah.
a bit about emissions as well.
So the idea here is, you know, I worked at Tesla. I'm a big fan of zero emissions by propulsion. And as Adam said earlier, you know, that's very difficult to abate sector transportation, particularly jet fuel, because it's so energy dense. So can you just go straight to hydrogen or electric? It turns out the premium is too high. So our idea is simple. Build a more aerodynamically efficient jet, lower the fuel burn by 50%, lower the cost, and then we develop the next phase. Turns out this shape is actually much better suited for the incorporating hydrogen further down the road when we have the technology and the infrastructure to do that, and that'll be zero emissions propulsion out of hydrogen. But we don't have to do that tomorrow. We can continue to use the jet engines that we have for the next 20 years or so.
Okay, we're going to give each other company about a couple minutes. So let's come over to Lilac Solutions.
People are wondering if they could sit down.
You can sit down. Come on in. Let's come over to Lilac Solutions. How are you?
Hey, good.
Nice
Great
to
be
see
here.
you. So we know that as we are electrifying the entire world, we cannot do that without lithium. We also know that extracting lithium is complicated. It involves giant pools of brine, which have numerous problems. But tell us a little bit about what you're doing, because you're scaling up lithium production while reducing the impact on the environment.
Yeah, thank you. So as electric vehicles and grid storage scale, and as we see geopolitical fragmentation, auto manufacturers are racing to build supply chains that are more resilient and more localized. Technology is at the center of that. We focus on lithium production. Currently, about 80% of the world's lithium is processed in China, but there are resources around the world that can be unlocked if you have the right technology. So we focus on brine resources. These are naturally occurring deposits of salt water. They are the world's largest resources, but they need new technology for the production. So we've developed a new technology based on an innovative ceramic material that absorbs the lithium from the brine. So we manufacture that material at our factory in the United States, and we provide it to projects around the world and help them to bring online new production.
And how much more efficient is it?
So we can double the production from existing projects. We recently completed an on-site demo plant at the Salar de Atacama, which is the world's largest reserve. Using our technology, without adding any additional production wells, we can add an additional $2 billion a year of lithium production to that site within the current environmental envelope. Furthermore, there's about 10x increase in global lithium resources that we can unlock with the technology in places like the United States, Europe, and here in the Middle East.
Talk a tiny bit about what your technology could do for the people who live, for example, in Chile and Bolivia?
So environmental impact with our technology is twofold. The macro focus is about getting more lithium into cars faster, but the local focus is an essential part of that. Historically, there have been environmental impacts on local communities related to land and water. The conventional means of producing lithium uses 10,000 acres of land.
That's a technology that hasn't changed basically in the last several thousand years, right?
That's right. This is 15th century technology.
Right.
And it's depleting water aquifers, impacting local water resources. We reduce the land footprint by 1,000x.
Okay.
We reduce the water consumption by 10x.
Okay.
So having that much smaller footprint and winning the support of local communities is essential to developing and bringing online a modern mining project.
Okay, we're going to let people come and talk to you for just a moment. Let's come over and talk oceans. How are you this morning?
Good, how are you?
Good. John, you have an ocean observation platform. Now, we know that as climate change continues to impact not just the world, but importantly the oceans, it's important to monitor them and see how they're doing. Just take one thing, salmon farming. They have to move further and further out. We need power to some of these places. Talk a little bit about why what you're doing is so important.
Well, as the oceans warm up, we know wave energy will increase, so why not use some of that wave energy to power ocean observation? So here we have our platform that actually utilizes that energy. So this is powered using a biomimicry technology that's basically material science. And what it does is it powers an edge processing computer, and in that computer, we deliver insights in real time. So increase uptime and reduce cost and service. These peak kelp fronds, we call, are a regenerative power supply for the ocean.
Is it really kelp, or does it just look like it?
It looks like kelp.
Okay.
So we can power buoys, mooring lines, we can power AUVs, we can power offshore oil and gas pylons. We can even prevent scour and erosion control, drifters, your electric boat at your dock. Floating solar can be co-located with this peak kelp technology. And so I'm really proud of having this to improve our oceans.
What are you looking for today?
We're looking for partners to help us bring this to worldwide. So we're looking for a global partnership to help us bring this technology to every ocean.
How fast can you scale?
As fast as we can. We need to scale fast.
All right.
Yes.
All right, we'll let people come back. Let's come over to, we've got one more over here. Or have we all good? Okay, right. I'm going to let you guys have a chance to go and talk to our founders and funders, in fact. And if the conversation flags, don't worry. I'll be here to throw in some questions. But have a chat.
Thank you very much.
Is that okay? Is that all right? I did it for 15 minutes. A little bit longer, but is that okay? Yeah.
Are they all good with the presentations?
Yes, very good.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you guys very much for joining our climate mobility meetup. Thanks to the companies who are here. Thanks to Adam and to Petri as well. We're going to need to reset the room for the next session. So we'll ask our startup scale-ups to wrap things up. And thank you very much for being with us.